Are you struggling with crate training your puppy? Maybe you're 100% on board with all the benefits of using a crate, but your puppy didn't get the memo. Instead, they are turning up their nose at the very thought of going in one. I get it, it can be hard, but it's worth it. Crate training is one of the most popular topics in our Facebook group, Puppy Training with Michelle Lennon. You can find the link to my Facebook group in the link below this video. On this channel, you're going to find a lot of other really great videos on crate training too. So why are there more? Because I wanted to give you a summary of all the best crate training tips. Think of this like the greatest hits album of crate training. Before we begin, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you get notified when the next video goes live. Michelle here with How to Train a Dream Dog. So, maybe you're experiencing a bit of resistance from your pup when it comes to the crate. Maybe he's full on panicking when he's in there. Maybe you're not sure what to do? Well, this video is really going to help you with that. I want to tell you that you're also not alone. My Cavalier, Pickles, who is featured in our online course, 30 Days to Puppy Perfection, did not love his crate when he first came home. He was one of the most persistent pups I have ever dealt with in trying to convince me not to use it. But I knew that in the big picture of things, these weeks of working with him were very short compared to the lifetime of keeping him safe and content when he was in his crate and when he wasn't supervised. So it was worth it. And today you can see that he's perfectly happy to go in there anytime I ask him to do so. So in this video, I'm going to give you 10 of my greatest tips on crate training. These are specifically for you if you're having a hard time. Not all of them will work like a light switch, but with time and training, you will get there, just like I did with Pickles. Tip number 1, use every opportunity to further crate training. What I mean by this is to look at all the times when your puppy's objection to the crate might be low and use that to your advantage to give him more exposure. This is why I suggest that the puppy goes in his crate the minute you pick him up from the breeders or the rescue instead of riding home on your lap. The overstimulation of the change, the rocking motion of the car, this is a prime opportunity for a nap. And naps mean the crate. The crate is also great for that post-exercise or post-meal nap that typically happens to young puppies. You want a cool down period and a potty break before your pup goes in. But watch that body language, and when he's starting to get a little sleepy, it's time for the crate. Speaking of potty breaks, if you're still experiencing trouble with the potty training process, be sure to grab the free New Puppy Starter Kit. It's chock full of potty training lessons, tips, and resources, and it's all free for you. The link is below in the description. Okay, back to crate training. Now, you have probably heard me say to feed your puppy all or part of his meal in the crate. This is a great idea to further the positive association, but I want to give you a little pro trainer tip here. If the negative association of the crate is affecting his ability to eat, you'll want to dial down the training dial and start feeding him a little bit further away from the crate, where he's more comfortable to eat. Dogs are food motivated, so most of them will happily go into the crate if there's food in there. But if you have that unicorn that says, "No way, Jose," then you're going to want to take it a little slower so that you don't affect his ability to eat. All right, tip number 2. Work on crate training outside of the time that you need him to use it. So let me give you a human example here. So you are making a recipe and you decide to make only half the amount. After all, who needs a full pan of brownies to tempt you? But you've never been taught how to divide fractions. Well, at the exact moment of baking the brownies with the oven on and the pan ready and the ingredients sitting on the counter, is it really the time to divide fractions or learn how to divide fractions? No. Not really. The last thing you want to do is stop making yummy brownies, call a math friend, or find a video and start putting pen to paper. Nope, nope, and nopety nope. Crate training is no different. You want to work with your pup on loving his crate outside of the time that it needs to happen. This means specific training sessions set up with high-value treats where he goes in and then he comes out. Or he goes in, you close the door, he gets the treat. And he comes out, and no treat is given when he comes out though. Keep that in mind. We want to create more value for going in the crate, not coming out. Then you can start to increase the time and your distance away from the crate as training sessions progress. Knowing your pup's body language and keeping him under the panic threshold is so important. And we're going to go over that in just a moment, so stick with me. We don't expect the football kicker to practice while at the Super Bowl, and it's the same with our pups. Work on it outside of the time you need it. Practice makes progress. Practice as much as you can. Tip number 3, stack the deck with all the right tools. Yes, there are definitely some great tools that can help your puppy learn to love his crate. This includes the Snuggle Puppy, covering the crate, playing calming music, and using Adapto, or a calming pheromone for your dogs. We have a whole video all about the tools, so if you haven't seen it already, you can head over there after you finish watching this video. The covering of the crate is really important to cut out and cut down on the stimuli your pup sees and can get really excited about, but can't get to because they're in their crate. Keep one side open for airflow, and I recommend that be the back side, while the front and the sides stay covered. And if you're using a plastic crate, just put a blanket or a towel over the front. The crate should be covered anytime your pup is in there, other than a training session. That will help promote rest and relaxation. Tip number 4, figure out what your dog loves and do that in the crate. Does your dog love to tug, fetch? Maybe he's really good at sit and he loves to do it for a yummy treat? Play those things in and around the crate. Just like offering him part of his meal in the crate, we are working to associate the crate with good things. You might have to get a little creative, but that is part of puppy parenthood. Figuring out how to use those things your dog loves to help him learn new things. Tip number 5. Understand the difference between crying and panicking. While it is important to teach our puppies to be okay with being alone, we also have to keep them under threshold, in this case panic mode, while doing so. If they panic to the point of screaming, clawing at or biting the crate, drooling, having an accident, or borderline hurting themselves, we are creating a negative experience with the crate. At that point, there is no learning going on. We should take our pup out of the crate, take him outside to go potty, and let him walk around for a few minutes in the yard so that he can focus on something other than the crate. He's going to need time to decompress, and a brain reset or a change of scenery is in order. When you take him back inside, you might have to do some kind of activity with him to let him continue to calm down before he goes back in the crate. Calmly petting your pup, practicing some body handling skills that you may have worked on in the past, or maybe practicing a training skill for a short time, should help your pup go back into the crate with a new mindset. Keep in mind that we also don't want to let our pup out or give attention while he's crying in there, as this will actually reinforce the crying behavior. So wait for even a short second or a quiet moment before you approach the crate. Now, I know this can be tricky, but puppies have short attention spans, so even a tiny break in the crying is enough to be able to open up the crate and not send the wrong message. So yes, even that big gasp of air before screaming comes out of those lungs, that's a good time. Inside the 30-Day to Puppy Perfection program we have a lesson on building confidence as we step away from the pen or the crate and increase how long our pups can stay in there. This is a really helpful part of the course that a lot of my students use in the early stages of crate training. Tip number 6, watch the schedule and use the crate accordingly. At least once a week I get a question, Michelle, my puppy fell asleep outside of the crate. Should I pick him up and move him in the crate? Well, no. Picking up a sleeping dog is not a good idea. Just like we would not want to be moved when we are sleeping, it's not respectful to a dog either. It could lead to mistrust of you or other humans and cause the dog to growl or snap at you. Just don't move a sleeping dog. But you heard me say earlier to take advantage of the times when the pup's resistance to the crate might be lower, and that includes times when he's sleepy. So it's best to watch the schedule and the body language to get him into the crate when he's drowsy and not miss that opportunity. If you missed the window and he fell asleep when you didn't notice, well, leave him alone and note that in the schedule for next time. But the more opportunity he has to sleep outside of the crate, the harder your work will be. So do yourself a favor and watch that schedule like a dog watches a squirrel. Tip number 7, give him something to help him settle while he's in there. When our pups are in the crate, we want them to be resting and relaxing and ideally snoozing, but sometimes they need a little help to get there, or sometimes they wake up before you're home or ready for them to come out. Now, a frozen filled Kong with some yummy food or kibble or Nylabone are good options to put in the crate with your pup. The licking and the chewing can also be a stress reliever and that can really help them fall asleep. These types of fillable toys like a Kong or a West Paw Tapple or a Nylabone are the only toys we recommend that you allow in the crate. Check out this video here for other fillable toys that I love. Now, the Snuggle Puppy is a good option for young puppies, but around the 10-week mark, you might notice that some chewing happens. And then it's time to move it to the top of the crate. But for a lifetime, you can use a Kong or a Nylabone as a nice option for your pup. Now, I don't put toys in at bedtime because I want to encourage our puppies to sleep. And it's definitely not good if it has food in it either. But during the day, for all naps, my guys get one of their favorite Nylabones or a Kong. Tip number 8. Crate size matters. Alright, puppies like small, cozier areas, and their crate is the same. We always recommend the wire or the plastic crate. Now, over time, I've actually started to prefer the plastic one, and I really have noticed that a lot of the board and trained dogs did so much better in it. It is a little harder to manage when your pup grows and you have to get a new one, but a few of the newest products have dividers that will be great for a growing dog. Alright, tip number 9. Having the pen and the crate connected helps pups who are struggling. Alright, have you seen this video here? In it, I actually show you a possible setup for the puppy pen and the crate together. Now, you don't have to set it up this way, but for pups who are struggling to love their crate, it actually is a really good option. It allows the pup to get used to the crate with the door open, and they tend to naturally gravitate to the crate for sleeping. Now, this is an example of when you might want to work with the pup in a specific training session, specifically on how to be calm when the door closes. Sometimes you have to do that all in the smallest of baby steps. That astounds our human brain, but we always go at the pace our puppy can tolerate, not the one our human brain wants. Now, I work a lot on mindset training with our students enrolled in the online course of 30 Days to Puppy Perfection. All right, tip number 10. If you're really struggling, get some help. I know what you're thinking. That's what I'm doing. I came to this video for help, and I hope I did give you some good tips. But dogs are sentient creatures. They are all different. They have preferences and feelings similar to us. I can tell you what works for most dogs and what has worked for me and many of our students, but I don't know the situation in your home or the background of your dog. I don't know what you've tried and for how long and what kind of body language your dog is exhibiting during the span of you guys working together. But if I did know these things, I could definitely help you. Sometimes when we're working through crate training or an issue with our students, we give them a few tips to try and then they report back to us and tell us what's working and what's not. It's no use trying everything all at once because you're never going to really know what's working and what's not. This is where I actually advise people to sign up for the pro level of the online program so that they can submit videos of their pup's behavior during crate training sessions or crying or other activities. So then we can get a full picture of what the puppy's life is like and how to help them love their crate. And we can do this also on our group Zoom calls. We have 3 of those a week as well. And that's in addition to the private student Facebook group for pro-level students. I think you're going to find it's very helpful. And when crate training has been established, you can move on to the other training skills that I know you want to teach your pup. We can help you with those too. Now, I hope these tips helped you. In the comments below, tell me which one are you going to try first with your puppy?